Galloway's Tech Talk at 3 with Martin and Sarah from Humanware.
There's one that's like a left arrow, and then there's a play button and a right arrow. There's a moon-shaped button, which is the time button, and we can also use that for a sleep timer. Then we have a telephone keypad with a hash and a star, so that we can perform various functions like enter names of places or search for things. We can enter the T9 keypad. If anyone remembers the Nokias and so on, if anyone still uses Nokias or phones with a normal keypad, so we text like we would have done with the T9, like so. The letter B, the letter number 2 would be A, B, C, 3 would be D, E, F, and so on. So we use that method of text entry. Then at the top, we have a go-to button, we have a mode button, and we have a bookmark button. So the mode button shifts us between online services. So that will be our online things, whether that be downloading books from certain services. Most of them are international services, unfortunately, or whether that be podcasts or radio and so on. There's a standard menu, and I'll flick between these in a minute, and that will be for listening to our talking books and stuff that we have on hard media, like my SD card that I'm holding up, like the USB stick. And then the third option is navigation. So what I'm going to do is on the left-hand side, there's the on-off button. I'm going to hold that down, and the device will vibrate at me for a second. And I'm just going to shove it in the window. When it turns on, you'll probably hear it speak and get a GPS signal. And this might probably take about a minute, 30 seconds.
Orientation, outdoor volume, 1, set.
So it'll say GPS. It says connected to Wi-Fi because it's connected to my home Wi-Fi. And I'm just waiting for this now to get a signal. So let's just stop for a second. Have I missed anything out there, Sarah, do you think? Or I always like to get feedback.
I think you've pretty much covered everything there. For people that can see, I have got the Trek and the Stream in my hands. So you can just measure there just how it compares. It's just that little bit thicker, the Trek compared to the Stream. And obviously that's for the allowance of the GPS navigation.
On Magnus Court, Derby.
So it said GPS ready on Magnus Court, Derby.
Three-way intersection. Magnus Court crossing Alfreton Road. This is a pointless.
So it's just announced a pointless landmark that I created for another demo a while ago. So can you hear if I press?
Dead end on Magnus Court.
It's a dead end on Magnus Court. If I press, where am I?
Dead end on Magnus Court.
Okay. Now I'm in a building, so it's quite insulated, so the GPS isn't the best. But what I'm going to do is just tell you basically what it does, and then I shall go through some of the. I'll go through some of the new features that we've included in the last year or so that are free for anyone who already has one of these, and we can talk them through upgrading it over the phone with our support people if you've already got one. So what it will basically do, as I'm walking down the road, it will announce the intersections or junctions that I'm passing. So as you heard it say there, three-way intersection, Magnus Court crossing Alfreton Road. What does that mean, three-way intersection? Well, it means that Magnus Court's behind me and that Alfreton Road's doing a T-junction in front of me. If I were to turn left onto Alfreton Road, it would then say on Alfreton Road. I could be walking down Alfreton Road and it might say three-way intersection, Alfreton Road with Scarsdale Road on your right. Okay, so as I'm passing these intersections, it will read them out to me, which is great because it tells us what we're passing. It tells us what's on the left or right of us as we're walking. We can also add landmarks into the system. So as you heard my droning voice earlier on, there's a landmark that I added to the system, and it just said this is a pointless landmark for a demo. And it means that if I wanted to set a landmark at a shop that I used or at the park gate, I mean, we're all walking more, hopefully, you know, we can't go to shops, so we get outside for a 10-minute walk if we can. So we can bookmark a house, perhaps we could bookmark the, you know, things along the way while we're walking. We also have the ability to use the GPS in the same way in which you would traditionally use GPS, and that's GPS, where we put a postcode in and then it will work out a route to where we want to go. So we can do that as well. That is not always the way I use GPS, because I'm totally blind. I like to use GPS to augment my mobility skills. So I like to use it with my cane, so I can hear what I'm passing. So I can hear what I'm passing, because I don't want to always be thinking how many curves have I gone over. Where am I? I can press a button, it'll tell me where I am. That's great as well. We also have other features. There's a feature called Backtrack. So when we're allowed out of lockdown, if you went for a walk from your house and you wanted to get a route back home, with a traditional GPS, what it will do is it will create you the fastest route back home. But what you might want to do, rather than having the fastest route, you might want it to take you back the way you've just walked. So rather than having to, excuse me, so rather than walking a different way back home, you might feel more comfortable going the way that you've previously been. So that's a great feature. And there's also another feature that lets us record routes. So say if I'm out with my friend or mobility instructor, I can then record where I'm going, and it will save it as a route that I can then use again. So GPS accuracy. GPS accuracy is about between 3 and 10 meters. We've been promised Galileo forever. That isn't available properly yet on any devices that we can use, and that's an interesting thing for the future. Even on iPhones that have it, it's not used yet because they still haven't sorted it out, and we could be waiting another few years for that to all become, usable for us mere mortals. So the accuracy, I'd say, is between 3 and kind of 10 meters. So it's not going to replace your cane or your dog. It's not going to replace your skills that you have already. It won't tell you if you're going to fall down the steps. It won't tell you if you're going to come off the curb. That is the job of your mobility equipment, okay? So what I'd like to also mention is something else, and that is why the trek? Why do we persist with this product when we can all have mobile phones with flashy GPS apps like Blind Square and Lazarillo and the RNIB Navigator, I think, still exists, and some of these are free. You got Soundscape. Well, there's a few reasons. Sometimes people like buttons. When you're out there walking around, it can be very much easier to press a button rather than to fiddle around with your phone screen. I've walked around with my phone, and I do use my phone for GPS. I've got nothing against mobile phones for GPS. I'm not trying to say that people shouldn't use phones for GPS. So I do believe that phones are great, but there are some people who just don't like the phones for the button reason. The phones are quite slippery. I've dropped a phone before. And also, when you've got your phone out, you're a potential target for a mugger or someone who wants that phone off you pretty quick. So there's a few reasons why I think that there's a need for this product, and we're still developing this product. We're still adding new features. So I'd like to talk about a couple of these new features. So last time I was with you, that must have been about maybe 14 months ago, I think, and we all met up. I can't remember where it was. It was quite a big meeting of people, and I talked about the fact that we had a new routing engine to make it more accurate and make the GPS and added lots more landmarks into the system. Well, we did that, and it was popular, but we thought we can do better than this. So we've changed our map provider now to a company called Here. We used to be with TomTom, but we've changed our map provider to a company called Here. And that gives us a few things. It gives us more accurate maps with more landmarks on them. It gives us more things that we can do in the future that I'm not allowed to talk about. It also gives us the ability to have the maps downloaded from our website. One of the features we added on the Trek last year was the ability to download your maps via Wi-Fi. So if you upgrade your maps, you can do it through the Wi-Fi on the device. Some people thought that was too slow, So you can now grab your maps from the web page and install them via a USB cable. We also have changed the way, because of our new license for the maps, we've changed the way in which we give you maps. So instead of just having like Europe, and that's what you bought, and then you've got to pay for the US, and you've got to pay for Africa or the Asian maps, you now have all the maps. Okay, so you get the whole world, all the maps for the whole world installed. Sorry, you don't get them installed because that'll be a lot of space. You get the maps for Europe installed by default, and if you want to install the maps for, say, the USA, so you're going on holiday, then you can do that either through the Wi-Fi menu on here, or you can download them to your PC and install them that way. So we're giving you choices, and we're giving you, firstly, we're giving you the whole world for maps. And I know it's a bit crazy because we've got the COVID thing and we can't travel as much, but that's what we're doing. So it's just a much better value for money. You don't have to buy any add-ons or any extras. But one of the things that we have done in the Trek, because we can't go out and explore, there still might be times when we want to explore. What, you know, I used to live in Preston on Moor Lane. Okay, I don't know if anyone knows Moor Lane. I went to university in Preston. I went to UCLan more years ago than I'm going to tell Sarah. And what I can now do is a virtual navigation. So I can tell the system, all right, what I want to do is either navigate around my area now. So if I'm sitting here at my desk, I can then navigate around where I'm actually sitting, or I can do something a bit more interesting. I mean, that is interesting if you're in a new place. So if I'm in a new city that I've never been and I'm standing on a street, I can then say, navigate me, let me do virtual navigation from here. I can then use the virtual navigation to explore the streets around me. Or if I'm at a hotel and I'm at my friend's house, I can then virtually navigate and find out what's around. Is there a Marks and Spencer's near me, and how far away is it? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the go to button.
Select a landmark as your destination.
And it says select a landmark as your destination. And there's one in Hull there, but we don't want to go to Hull. I want to go to enter a postcode. So I'm going to press the number 4. We've got a cursor cross. We've got number 2 is the up arrow. Number 4 is the left arrow. Number 6 is the right arrow. And 8 is the down arrow. So I'm going to push left arrow.
Enter a postal code, UK only.
So enter a postal code, UK only. We could type a city name or whatever, but we'll enter a postal code.
Start entering postal code.
Can you hear that speech okay, by the way?
Yes, Martin.
Okay. So I'm going to enter a postal code using my T9 keypad. So I'm going to press number 7 for P.
P.
R. PR1.
1.
And I don't need to do a space. I'm going to put 1 again.
1. L. 5.
Oh, I didn't want to do 5.
5. PR11. PR1 1.
L. And then I'm going to do J.
J.
So PR1 1LJ, and I'll press confirm.
PR1 1LJ. Enter civic number.
Well, I don't want to put a number in. I just want to be putting that postcode, but I could put a number in. But if I remember, that's where all the there's a lot of flats around there. That's where I used to live in Preston, which is why I've chosen it. I thought we might go for a little walk around Preston today. That's okay with everyone?
Press confirm to start instructions. Press and hold if in vehicle. Press up to enter map browsing mode.
So it said
turn instructions to a landmark may guide you through unfamiliar paths.
So it said press and hold press and hold for instructions. Well, I don't want to be guided to PR1 1LJ from where I am. It'd take me days to walk it, and the weather's not great at the moment. Press and hold if in vehicle, so I could get a vehicle route to PR1 1LJ, or press up arrow.
Entering map browsing mode.
To go into map.
Currently on Victoria Street, heading east.
Okay, so I'll press up arrow. That now put me in map browsing mode on Victoria Street. Okay, so we're now in Preston. And I can press number 5, which is the where am I key with 2 dots on it.
You are on Victoria Street.
Okay, so I'll push right arrow, which is going to turn me right.
In back, Victoria Street.
So I'll go forward.
In 33 meters, three-way intersection. Victoria Street crossing Sizer Street on your right.
So I'm going to go back because that's not where I want to be.
In 70 meters, three-way intersection. Victoria Street crossing Moore Lane.
That's where I want to be. So I'm going to go forward.
Can't go that way.
Right. So I'm now on the junction of Victoria Street and Moore Lane. So if I turn right, it'll put me on Moore Lane.
On your right, Moore Lane.
Now I push up arrow.
In 86 meters, three-way intersection. Moore Lane crossing Appleby Street on your left.
Moore Lane crossing Appleby Street. I can press where am I again.
Heading south. You are on Moore Lane. Current intersection, three ways. Moore Lane crossing Appleby Street.
I'll go forward again.
Three-way intersection. Moore Lane crossing Craig's Row on your left.
Moore Lane crossing Craig's Row on my left.
Door volume. In 6 meters, three-way intersection. Moore Lane crossing Moore Lane in front.
So I've got Moore Lane again.
In 12 meters, three-way intersection. Moore Lane crossing Harrington Street on your right.
So I've got Harrington Street on the right. Now there's a whole of residents down Harrington Street. So we'll turn right down here.
On your right, Harrington Street. In 179 meters, three-way intersection. Harrington Street crossing Adelphi Street.
So now we've got Harrington Street crossing Adelphi Street. So we kind of, if I do a left now on Adelphi Street.
In 75 meters, four-way intersection. Adelphi Street with St. Peter's Street on your left. Adelphi Street in front and St. Peter's Square on your right.
So then if I go right, I'll be heading towards the University Library. So what I'm going to do is let's see what landmarks we've got around us. So let's have a quick look.
What's around? Extended search. 1. Variety. Nightlife. 28 Adelphi Street.
So the variety, I happen to know that that's changed its name now, but we'll let that go.
2. Equator Art Cafe. Coffee shop. Adelphi Street. 19 meters. 3. Call cabin. Consumer electronics store. 26 Adelphi. 4. Fleet Communication Center. Consumer electronics store. 25. Mainzil. Restaurant.
So there's Manzill there.
Adelphi Street. On your 6. Shea store. Convenience store. 7. Milligare card shop. Specialty store. 8. Secret garden.
You get the idea.
Store.
You get the idea. We can. These are the landmarks that are on this block. On this, we call it a block, I guess. So they're the landmarks that are on the current block that we're standing on. So this is quite nice because it means that we can see how far these landmarks are away. And if I was actually walking, I could press a key on it and it would tell me how many meters I was away, and then I could walk and it would count down the meters. And so if I wanted to, though, I could say, I just want to look for restaurants. So if I hold down number 5.
What's around? 20 items. Extended search.
I can go to extended search. I press number 4 to move backwards to extended search.
Select search type.
So select search type.
Search by category.
So I can search by category.
Search by name.
Or I can search by name. So we'll do category. And we'll do food.
15 items. Transportation. Food. Searching.
It's going to take a little while to do that search, so I'll let it do that. It says, please wait. Now, there is a male voice on here as well that we can use, and he's called Peter, I think.
Peter.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Coffee shop.
So here we go. So the nearest one to us is Equator Cafe.
2. Mainzil. Restaurant. 3. Orient Express. Restaurant.
The Orient Express. That's on 32 Moore Lane.
4. Mighty Bites. Restaurant. 36 Moore Lane. 105. Sauce Bar Kitchen. Restaurant. 24 Filed Road. 100.
So we can look up just now. If I was walking with that, I could press on one of those, and it would create me a route, which I could then browse. I can hold down number 6, and I can browse that route before I walk it. Sorry about that. So what else have we done? Well, we've improved the way in which we capture and announce landmarks, the landmarks or bookmarks that you've added or we've added. And I've just turned map browsing mode off. So it says press confirm to exit map browsing. I'll do that.
Explore. Entering open area. Derby.
So I'm now in Derby again. And so we've just improved and tidied everything up in a big way, ready for more new features to be added later on this year. We've improved the accuracy. I've found that when I've been walking around areas that were a bit ropey, the accuracy's improved on the product, especially with the maps and my location, it actually finding me. So we've changed some of that. And they are the latest. Well, they're at 15, we're at half past. So I'm guessing we've got about an hour, 45 minutes. I don't know what the time level we're at, but what we'll probably do is maybe stop for a few.
Right. I'm hard of hearing, so my question is, do you have a 3.5mm jack so that I can connect it to the device to my hearing aids?
Yes, John, I'm happy to say we do.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. So
Thank
we've got
you.
quite a lot of people with dual sensory, so that's really important. David Evans.
Yeah, now I may have misheard what you said, because like he said, I'm hearing impaired. But the question I wanted to ask, is the feature still there for sharing routes and landmarks? A friend might say to you, oh, that's a good chip shop in Morecambe, but you haven't a clue where it is.
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do that. If you have a PC, there is an app that will allow you to do that, I believe. I haven't used it for a few years, so
Right.
I'd have to check, see if it's still, I'm pretty sure it's still there for the PC.
Right.
And the other way you could do it is drop a post, I guess you'd use the postcode and number that closest matches. But I'm pretty sure there is still a way to import and export landmarks. Now, whether that will there is a way, in fact, to import and export landmarks. Now, whether that imports and exports all of the landmarks or just one, I am not sure. But there is definitely a way to do it.
Right.
It's just I don't deal with that most days. Lewis would do it in our support team.
Asking
Yeah.
question, Bill.
The question I've got is I'm a Backtrack user, and I think it's great. It's a great system. It really is. But I've just installed version 2.1. Does that automatically give me the here map, the here maps?
It doesn't, I don't think. I would advise you you'll be able to update them with the maps through your Wi-Fi. I would do it by I've been focusing this year on mainly our Braille and last year. So I would advise you to call our tech guys and talk to Lewis. And even if you go to our Trek webpage, if you have that ability, then there'll be instructions on how to get the maps. But Lewis will or Sean can talk you through getting these maps. But they're definitely free of charge, and you'll be able to download them. And I didn't think there was much wrong with the older maps, to be honest. But
No,
these are definitely, from my walking around in Derby, which is all I've managed to do really, because of lockdown, that I do think that they're better.
yeah.
They will download themselves when you do the update, but it will take a long time. The quickest way to do it would be to download them onto an SD card, which, as Martin said, Martin said technical support can
They can talk you through all that.
Talk you through doing that. Yeah.
I certainly got a user in Blackpool, Kerry, and she's told me that they that her around her area is much improved. So thanks for that question, Bill.
Thank you. It's okay. No problem.
I'll just mention that all the stuff that we do comes with a 45-day money-back guarantee, which is awesome, really. So you can take it, you can use it, and if you don't like it, and you send it back within, I think it's 45 days at the moment. Normally it's 30 days, but I think we've extended that because of the COVID thing. We'll refund your money. The other thing you can do with something like the price of the Trek, which I think not the price, I can't remember, we just changed it.
It's $595 at the moment, Martin.
Yeah, $595. So that works. You can buy that over 12 months. So $595 roughly works out at 50 quid a month, and that comes out. I'm not saying that everyone would use their PIP for that, but that's kind of what it's meant for. I know money's always difficult, and it's all sensitive talking about the price of products. I'm aware of that. I'm blind myself, and I do feel your pain. It's something I'm aware of. But for 50 quid a month, that might be worth it for some people. It might not be worth.
Asking how much it was,
Okay.
but while I was trying to unmute, he was explaining the cost, so I lost it. Did you say it's £595 to buy?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. You do. I mean, bear in mind it does. A lot of the mobile phones will give you that. I know that, and I've been through why the advantages and things that this might have for some people. One thing I forgot to mention is that for a lot of mobile phone GPS systems, you need to have access to the network while you're walking around.
Yeah.
So for me, I live in Derbyshire, and as soon as I get to drive towards somewhere like Matlock, we lose phone signal. Data costs aren't usually too bad these days, so that's not a valid reason anymore, I don't think, particularly. But the maps are always on the device, so that's really cool that they're always there. And bear in mind, you can use it as a recorder, a talking book player. You can use it for internet radio. There's a lot of features in there. So what's the next question? Have we got another question here about the Trek?
Good now.
Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for letting me for the invite. I know we couldn't do the first date because we had a work meeting that we had to be involved in. If anyone's got any questions, you can drop me an email. My email address is martin.roberts, martin.roberts@humanware.com. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to drop me an email. I know not everyone likes speaking up on these things. And I'm going to leave you now in the capable hands of Sarah to show you the next product. We have got a whole range of new Braille products, and which we're not going to talk about today, which we've launched. We've done a kind of soft launch last month. So if that would be of interest, it'd be great to come back and talk about the new Braille kit sometime. But thanks very much for having me and letting me relive my memories of Preston.
Martin, can I just, interject here?
Sure.
Can I ask you how much that product is, please?
It's at $5.99 basically.
Thank you.
Hi. So Martin covered there our Victorida Trek and our stream. I'm going to just briefly cover our Stratus audio book player. And I don't know if anybody's already got one of these or if anyone's used them in the past. Please let me know after I've given you a brief description. So I'm just going to change my camera now so that for those of you that are able to see can view the Stratus. So here you have the Victorida Stratus. It's a very hard-wearing, sturdy product, but you'll see it's very sleek as well. It's got a nice smooth handle, so you've got that portability to carry it from room to room. So it's an audio book player, so you can play your Daisy CDs if they come on an SD card or on a flash drive or on CD format. You're able to play your Daisy books on this device, so you don't have to worry. As I know with other CD players, sometimes they might not work. So this lasts for about 4 hours with a full charge, but it will work whilst it's plugged in to charge as well. Now, the main feature of the Stratus player is just how crisp and clear it is when you're playing your audio books. I'm going to try playing one now, but forgive me if it doesn't come through okay.
Volume 15. The way to colour it, he decided, would be with brown shoe polish.
Is that coming up okay?
17.
Yeah, that's pretty
The
good.
large tin he chose was
So you're
labelled
able to adjust the volume, the tone, the speed, and that's all done on the Stratus. You're able to pause it, set timers so that it will go off to not deplete the battery if you might fancy a snooze in the afternoon. And it's really simple to use. You've got your interface there with your tactile buttons. It's portable. Pop your CD in, press play, and it'll start to play the book. Great thing about the Stratus is I know mainly people will get their Daisy books on your audio, on your CD, but you do have your SD card and your flash drive, so it really future-proofs it. So if in future you're not able to get the book you want on CD format, it should always be available somewhere on an SD card or a flash drive. Like I said, the interface is very simple and easy to use with your rewind and your play and your pause. But if you did want to get a bit more specific as to where you would navigate to on your book, you're able to remove the very front cover. Do that now. And it just presents you with a few more buttons where you're able to navigate, depending on how the book is formatted, you're able to navigate through the chapters or sub-chapters. And that's pretty much it for the Stratus. It's the beauty of it is such a simple to use product, but it just gives you such a crisp, clear sound when playing your audiobooks or your CDs from home. And obviously you can take it away with you if we're ever able to get on holidays again. Does anybody have any questions with regards to the Stratus?
So if anybody that wants to unmute themselves, fabulous, Charles, yes, please.
I've had a couple of inquiries from
Okay.
listeners of the Talking Newspaper who've used the Stratus, and they've been very happy with it. The sound quality is brilliant, and the versatility of it means they can cover not just talking books, but if they have friends who can put music onto a memory stick or something like that, they can use it as a general media player. But both of them, sadly, slightly misused it, and they have asked me to tell them to let them know whether these machines can be repaired.
It does depend on the fault exactly as to what's happened, but yes, they can be repaired. We have a full team of technical support that can support you remotely at home if it's something that can be fixed over the phone, or if required, it can be returned to ourselves and the team will have a look at it when it comes in.
I suspect that they're both physical problems rather than software problems, because one lady used to like playing her talking book as she was going to sleep at night, and every time she turned over on her bed, the Stratus slid onto the floor.
Right.
And it stood up to quite a lot of these treatments, but eventually anything will have a problem if it's dropped often enough. The other lady tried to put a CD into it when there was a CD in already.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't possible to, and the CD player itself then wouldn't. It was possible to get the second CD out, but couldn't get the original CD out, and therefore the machine couldn't be used for CDs. It didn't stop her from using memory cards or memory sticks, but she was used to getting the RNIB talking books on CD. There used to be a local gentleman in Southport who would do repairs, but he retired some years ago. So I'd appreciate a contact number or email address or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Possible.
Hi, David.
Is there a proper line out on that to connect it to your hi-fi amplifier?
You've got your headphone port, forgot to mention, so you do have your port there.
Right. Okay, there's an ordinary, right. Okay, well, that's
right.
doable for everybody.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. So as much as the sound is lovely and crisp and you can have it playing in whatever room you're in, you do have your headphone port as well to connect it if you want that privacy.
Right, well, that gives people a choice then. They can have it silent so other people can't hear. Or you can put it into your hi-fi.
Yes. Has anybody on this call got one or used one? There is a way when I've been covering in tech support and I've been in there, that people have rang saying that the CDs got stuck, and there is a way that they can force and eject sometimes by pressing a certain combination of buttons. So I can't promise anything, but if anybody does come across that fault, definitely give tech support a ring and they'll be able to.
Can I just say, I'm a Baha wearer, and I find that the sound quality on that is extremely good. You know, I don't have a problem with it. It is good. I'm particularly dopily deaf, and I do find the sound quality very good.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Julie. Okay, Charles, you've got something else you wanted to ask or say?
Well, that just the mention of key combinations of key presses. Is that something that Sarah can explain now, or are we better just going straight to the technical?
Yes, straight to technical support and not.
The number that you gave me, would that get me the technical support?
Yes, you'll go through, if you call that number, you'll be presented with 2 options, 1 for sales, 2 for technical support. Press 2.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Fabulous. Did we cover the cost of the item, Sarah? Sorry.
No, sorry. So the Stratus 4M, which is the one I demonstrated, the M stands for media. So you've got the option to have that SD card and flash drive there. So not just a CD. That's priced at £320. Just the 4 without the option for the extra media is £270.
And like with Martin's product, do you have a extended trial period?
Yes, with all our products at the moment are on a 45-day money-back guarantee. So if you try it for 45 days, it's not right, send it back, give us a call. We'll arrange to collect it at no charge to yourself and get your money back. Like Martin said, we do have the monthly instalment option available as well for people that want to spread the cost, and that's at no interest. I'm not sure if Martin mentioned that. I believe Humanware is the only company that is able to offer that.
It's
on
amazing.
Our products. Yeah, I think it was a long time of making sure that it was something we could do, but we can. So that option is always there.
Guys, thank you all very much. Well, we're going to let Sarah go now because I'm quite sure she's chock-a-busy like the rest of us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here. I'll also put my email address in the chat as well. And if anybody's got any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with myself.